I'm excited for today's episode because we're going to be talking a little bit about the homelessness up in Sacramento. So I was super curious because I got a lot of people that reached out to me about this, and I'll share some comment with you guys right here. I'm excited for today's episode because we're going to be doing a market update. We're going to be talking a little bit about the homelessness up in Sacramento. So yeah, I'm excited for today's episode. So I want to share my screen again. A couple of days ago, if you guys are following me on Facebook, I shared this post. I said, how do everyone feel about this? And it's about the homelessness from Sac County. This is on their website. They posted this and they said, on Monday, August 21st, 2023, Sac County's first safe day community welcomed its first guests. The sleeping cabin style shelter campus has a capacity of 125 to 75 single cabins and 25 double occupancy cabins, and was approved by the Board of Supervisors in June of 2022. That's last year, but they accepted their first guests this past Monday, which is exciting, right? This is getting a lot of homeless people out from the streets and providing them with shelter, providing them with a place to stay, a roof over their heads, especially if they have kids. So this is super awesome. So I was super curious because I got a lot of people that reached out to me about this, and I'll share some comment with you guys right here. Some people just said, glad to give them a second chance. About time. We need 2 per county. I feel like I want to be homeless now. Some people said that's where all our taxes are going. It's ridiculous. It might keep them off the streets, but this might encourage more people to be homeless. Gang Prince says, where do I apply? Kawana says, I think it's a great alternative to being on the cold street. I agree. Susan says, down the street from me, this would drive in more homeless around the area. Just my opinion. Nia says, I have some thoughts that will spark controversy, so it might be better to just have a small group discussion instead of on Facebook. Debbie Chow says, I need a place for myself and I'm grinding every day, but can I get a hand-me-down? No. Sue says, if it works and it cleans up the issue, then yes. If not, it's only going to bring more issues and crime to the surrounding area. Good point. Fred says, accepting treatment in addiction, psychological issues must be part of the terms of receiving housing. Okay, so these are just public comments from you guys, but I got some of you guys that actually reached out to me on the private, and you guys actually kind of gave your perspective that I kind of wanted to bring up as well, because it's probably what we're talking about. Some of you guys mentioned that you guys don't like that this is on Florin Road because you guys live in that area, and you guys are noticing that there's more homeless people walking the streets of your neighborhood now, tenting right on your sidewalk, and you guys have kids and you guys don't feel safe anymore. You guys want to move out the area now. Some of you guys reached out and said that, man, this is going to bring the value of my house down. Now I'm never going to be able to sell if I decide to sell one day because of this community that's right down the street from me now. So I kind of want to hear Charles and Lisa's opinion on this. How do they feel about what I just mentioned about this whole topic?
It's a lot simpler than just saying, there's a lot of those comments that were on there. It's a lot simpler than just saying that. The problem is that it's obviously, if it were as simple as sticking up some shelters or clearing everybody off or trying to shoot them somewhere else in some different direction, it would have already been solved, right? I was just mentioning that when we were talking previously. It's like moving over here to Placer County, specifically in this area in the city of Roseville, there really isn't a lot of homelessness that I see in comparison to Sacramento County, and especially right over there off of the Roseville Road area in that vicinity. If it's tolerated and it's fine, then that's what's going to end up happening if no one is taking care of any of them. But then at the same time, then what are we doing to help these people? What are we doing to get them back on their feet? If we were all in a bad situation to where something happened to us, I think we would all, it's not saying do we want a handout, right? But you need people that are going to work hard to try to, get themselves out of these situations. But there's so many reasons why this happens. And it's not just as simple, it's not one blanketed resolution that's going to take care of all this. That's the problem. And I think that there's too many people trying to just throw one solution at it. Even this right here, okay? So somebody's complaining about the idea that there's going to be homeless people walking the streets and this and that. Where would they suggest that these communities are placed then? In a rural area in the middle of nowhere? No one's really going to ever be happy with the situation, I think.
What about you, Lisa? What are your thoughts? Because this is
Ooh,
a
okay.
sensitive topic for you.
It is a sensitive topic for me because I think when God blessed me with 4 biological brothers, right, it was a setup for me being a big sister to a lot of my brothers out there that suffered with addiction, that have lost marriages and relationships because of it. So it's sensitive to me only because I've seen the transition. I see good men become so lost. And it's hard because it's like these programs are trying to give them a second chance. So that part of me is just like, okay, the emotional part of me is just like, this is great, this is wonderful. But the practical part of me also is saying, go back to the beginning, go back to teaching somebody how to fish instead of giving them a fish, right? So I haven't had a chance to really read up on this program. I think it's a wonderful thing. It looks beautiful. It does not look like a homeless center, which I think is the first start of giving somebody that mental capacity to say, hey, here's a fresh start. Here's a chance for me to do this. It shouldn't be a lifelong thing, right? I do think that in order to place them in these things, all these comments that are coming in, I absolutely feel that. Because if you're only taking care of one portion of it and not understanding the psychological reason why people are homeless in the first place and how discouraged they are. And if you come from a 2-family household, if you have a single parent that was able to give you the guidance and the motivation to be in school, go to a trade, get yourself into a situation where you can provide for not just yourself, but possibly your family, things like that, then we are so privileged. When I see the homeless, the only difference that I see between them and me is that I was born privileged. That's it. So this could have easily been me. So it's very hard for me to say, don't do this. But at the same time, again, if we don't look at the psychological issue, why they got into addiction to begin with, and then continue to say, hey, so sad, too bad, do what everybody else is doing. At the same time, I do see these comments where it's like, hey, I'm scared for my children. I'm working my butt off too. I didn't have a privileged life. And here I am doing the best I can so that I can be a part of society where I'm not a financial burden to somebody else, right? And you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right about that portion. So here's the thing. We fence these people in, they're going to feel like a prison. Any study is going to show you treat people like animals and they will become like animals. You treat them like human and you bring out humanity.
I agree. Everything you said was exactly correct because I know people that are homeless. I know them personally, to where how they got themselves there, the choices they made, the things they do, the decisions, like everything like you mentioned. It's hard to not forget that because then now it's not just that one person that right? You see countless people that are out there and everybody's story is different because I used to serve too with the churches, and whenever I go and meet out with some of these communities that have a bunch of homeless people that come out, like sometimes they tell us what their life was before they're homeless. I'm only homeless because I got kicked out. But I've been going to every resource that Sacramento has been giving me. I have kids. I'm going to interviews and I'm turning my life around. Maybe within the next couple of weeks, I might have my own apartment. Things like that. You hear stories like that. So it's not everyone that wants to just be homeless. Everybody's story is case by case. We as humans can't really just be judgy now, when we see a homeless person and just expect everybody's like the same, because they're not. Some of these people, yeah, some of them are drug addicts. Yeah, some of them do have psychological issue. Yeah, some of them did get kicked out. Yeah, some of them really do rather just live in the streets like that. But some of them don't. Yeah, so I think it's kind of hard to kind of relate everybody and say that they're all the same because you can't. All those comments that I went over earlier, yeah, like there are truths to all of it.
It's very valid, Chia. I mean, as a mother myself, and especially if you have young children, you are going to be concerned about this. You have a heart. I don't think people are judging. They're just fearing for their own family and security and safety. That's absolutely fair. That's a totally fair assessment. Now, along with this, I would like to see this program implement a sort of a bartering system. If you're gonna stay here, then we expect you to, hey, can you help out in the soup kitchen for the rest of the group? Can you man the landscaping? Can you be the security guard for this week so that the people who unfortunately are highly addicted, right? The ones that aren't can watch over the ones that are, and that would help make that neighborhood a lot more safe, and maybe people around would feel more safe, and maybe more of these things can be built. On top of
Possibly,
allowing them to do that type of work, it gives them that skill set. So hey, I've already migrated over to this situation, right? And they can either keep their job there, possibly, right? Or because of that skill set, perhaps that will lead them to get into the next step. Because if the program was set to say, hey, once you're in this program, you get to be in this program for 2 years. This is how you're going to be able to extend the program. Good behavior, whatever the case might be. And if we're going to build another facility, we have a contractor on site that will teach you how to build these homes, so that on site number 2, we can do the exact same replica. And again, we're providing jobs for people in this facility who most of the time don't have that mental capacity. They're already in fight or flight mode. They're already in survival mode. They're not thinking of thriving mode like the rest of us are.
Right.
I say that, but there's so many of us who aren't homeless and are saying, yeah, I'm living paycheck for paycheck. Lisa, these people are getting a free ride. You're totally right about that.
I think this topic can be pretty taboo, because then everybody starts thinking about themselves and not others. And it can get pretty controversy quick. I'm just gonna say this here. If you guys know anybody, or you guys want to know more about this program, and you guys are in that Florida area or in the Sacramento County area, you guys just want to know more about it, I'm gonna share a link to everyone, so yeah, well, you guys can go and check it out. It's gonna pull you guys up to this right here. Flowing Road Safe Stay Welcome Guests. You guys can learn about it. It's telling you guys everything you guys could expect, like how are the guests referred, like how can the community get involved. All the information is on here. You guys can go and read it. I already did that, but I wanted to bring it up again on today's show because I got a lot of you guys asking me about it, and I thought it was some pretty good valid points, like what Lisa said, and it's, you guys are all true, but the thing is, it's not that easy to where it could just be catered towards one individual. It has to be community things, like what Lisa said, to where we all have to get involved to kind of make this work.
It takes really truly a village to raise a community, right? And in that community is not just the homeless, but everybody else that could be affected by it too. So I hope that we can find a good even ground for everybody to say, feel safe, and also to provide a second chance for those that really truly need it.
You know, I drove by this facility not too long ago, and I noticed that there was like security guards in that facility as well, walking around the premises. I wouldn't like to say regulated, but they are being watched, so that way they can maintain a safe facility for everyone around them. Of course, this is new. It just started this Monday, right? Even though it's been going on for a whole year now. So time will tell how this is gonna play out. If everything works out like what Lisa said, there might be another one coming near your community. Yeah, you guys want to know more? Again, just go on to this site right here that I put in the comment section, and you guys can go check it out. If you guys are in the area around it, go drive by, take a look at it for yourself, like just observe how is it being kept, so that way you could be the judge for yourself and not rely on our words or anybody else's words. Go see for yourself. There you guys go. I'm just thankful for all you guys for watching and engaging, sending your comments, messaging me privately, all of that, all the phone calls. We will see you guys next week. Thank you guys for your time on a Friday night. Be safe out there, y'all, and stay cool.